Hello everyone, it's Mr. John from Dragonfish 3D, and today in this video we're going to continue our Dad2Dad Fishing series and talk about hook safety. What you do when you have one of these in your body. So we're going to talk about a couple different types of pokes that you can get, some first aid, when to determine when you got to go to the doctor, and some preventative tips to avoid having those little pokey things in either you or your kids. So let's get into it. Okay, so one website I like to use a lot is the Academic Life of Emergency Medicine. I use it a lot for other things, dad taking care of kids. They have a really good article here about fish hook removal. So I'm going to talk and demonstrate the first step, and we're going to talk about the second step. I've never done the second step. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. So the first step of removing a shallow fish hook, called the push through technique. If you're dealing with something like your standard hook, this is a hook off my spoon, then this technique works great. Hooks in your body, push it through, and then snip the barb, and then pull the metal out. The second method is the string technique, and what you would do is you would take the hook and you would push this part down, while where my hand here is a glob of string. So you push this down so the barb faces outward, as you can see right there. You want to angle the barb in the direction that you were poked, and then you would take string and pull the hook straight out. Now, if it's a deep penetration, if that thing is all the way up in there, like you only have a little bit of the eyelet sticking out of your hand, go to the doctor immediately. Story time. But I have a nice beautiful scar in the tip of my thumb. So what had happened is I had the hook in a clamp, and the hook had come out of the clamp and embedded itself all the way to like that much into my thumb. And the worst part is it was a jig head, big old jig head sticking out of my thumb. It had gone into my thumb, and the hook had hit my bone, that tip of bone, and so I couldn't progress it out like normal, and I had to go get surgery. Again, if it's in deep, go to the doctor. Do not try to do that in the field. Alright, before we move on to hook prevention, I would like to thank all the dads out there. From one dad to another, thank you. We all need dads. End of story. If you find this helpful, or you want to thank another dad somewhere, spread this to all the dads around the world. Hit the like button down below. Let YouTube know dads are awesome. On with hook prevention. The first step to avoid serious injury with a fish hook is to get rid of all your rusty hooks. If you got hooks that look like these pictures I just googled that you can see here, get rid of them. I cannot stress this enough. Get rid of them. There's a lot of stuff that comes with being poked with rusty anything, rusty nail, rusty hook, rusty knife, whatever. It's rusty. It's bad. Don't get poked with it. Just change your hooks out. Alright, second point of avoiding a fish hook going in your body is use pliers. I see all sorts of people, they grab their fish and they go to pull the hook out, and they use their hands, they go to pull the hook out of the fish, and lo and behold, guess where that hook goes? Right into their body. We should already have pliers on us. It's tools of the trade. Don't be cocky, don't be brave. Use some pliers. It's a common sense check. You don't need to ruin the entire trip because you, dad, got a hook in your thumb because you didn't use a pair of pliers. The third point I'm going to make here is always be aware of your surroundings. I'm using this picture from Field and Stream, for example, of distance. He's aware of him and he's aware of him as they're both fly fishing. Plenty of times you go back, you go to throw and cast, pull back and go to cast forward. That hook behind you catches into your buddy to the left or to the right. You've got your kid who may or may not be a little clingy and is right there next to you as you go to whip that cast out, and instead you whip your kid in the head. Point is, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your buddies around you, and as dads fishing with lots of children, supervise them. Spread them out so they don't hit each other with the lines. Supervise them in where they cast. My final point for hook safety prevention of being poked is cover your hooks. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can either buy either treble hooks or rubber stoppers that go over your hook. Alternatively, you can DIY this by simply buying some tubing at your hardware store or outdoor shop, snip them and fit them over the hooks. Is you can print 3D hook protectors on a 3D printer if you have access to a 3D printer. So that's it for hook safety and hook first aid, hook preventative pokings and such. The next video in the series is going to be some basic rigging for your kiddo for the first time fishing. Thanks for watching.